Look at that indulgent chocolate. All right, folks, whether you like truffles, chocolate bars, Joliesse Chocolates definitely knows a thing or two about combining local flavors with traditional French chocolate. And they're going to show us how to make some truffles today. I'm going to demystify it a little bit because I've always heard that it's kind of easy to do, but kind of being the operative word. This morning we have Troy Lapsis, who is the general manager at Joliesse, and you got up bright and early. I know you guys had a class last night, is that right?
And 60 people in.
Yeah, so I appreciate you coming in. We're going to talk about classes in just a second, but first you're going to put me through a class. So we're making truffles. All right, so what do we need to do to start this process? What is just the sort of quick rundown of how we do it, and then we'll dive in.
Well, the first thing is you need some decent chocolate to work with.
Okay.
So I brought in today a little bit of this Belgian milk chocolate. So we're gonna make some milk chocolate truffles.
Okay.
I've got the melter over here where we put it in there, we melted it, took it to about 105 degrees Fahrenheit, and then we started cooling it, and we added in more chips to start to bring down the temperature. Now the reason for that is we want to have tempered chocolate.
Tempered chocolate,
and tempered chocolate is that nice, firm, almost crispy chocolate that you get.
Okay.
It's the best aroma, the best flavor, everything's mixed perfectly within the chocolate. And that is going to give the consistency that you want to your truffle. Okay. And briefly, to be able to temper, there's a couple different ways of doing it. One of the easiest ways, which is also one of the most fun ways, I'm going to actually let you get your hands dirty on this one.
Good.
So we're going to take out a little bit of this chocolate and we're going to put it on this marble slab here.
Okay.
Now what that slab is doing is because stone is about a degree or two cooler than the ambient environment, it's rapidly cooling that chocolate down. Okay. But we actually want to play with it a little. Okay.
Look at that. Isn't that fun? Doesn't that look cool? What's this over here?
And go ahead and do it.
So
take this guy right here, and just kind of, you want to get as much surface area onto the chocolate as you can.
So one of these like this?
Yep.
I feel like I'm getting ready to lay tile or something.
Well,
and I'm going to stick it with chocolate.
It actually is a little surprising how often we shop at Lowe's for being a chocolatier.
So this is part of what people can learn at the classes. Like I said, you're up early from a class last night. Tell us about the classes that you offer. We learn to make truffles. What else can we learn to make?
Well, we do the truffle making classes where you actually get a chance to go in and create a butter ganache truffle, which is exactly what we're going to be doing today. Okay. Learn a little bit about the history of chocolate, do some chocolate tasting, get a chance to learn about tempering and have some fun with a marble slab. And then we also have a bar making class that we do on a regular basis. And for the kiddos, we have what we call the chocolate paint class. Which is, they get a bag of chocolate, a bunch of kids' molds are able to put that together, and then it gets a little scary when you see a 3-year-old playing with chocolate.
I bet. Now, is this something for the family? Is there do you guys do anything like, this would be recommended as like a good date night type thing?
Oh, most definitely.
He's a chat here. Give me this. You're doing it.
Well, no, actually, what you've done is you probably felt that it changed over time.
It's getting a little,
and it got a little thicker.
Yeah,
so exactly. That's exactly what we want. And this guy is ready to go back in there. So we're just
you put it back in there.
And this kind of seeds the rest of this chocolate to make it all tempered. And you do this a number of different times if you wanted to get to the right aspect. Okay. So after you get the chocolate tempered, and we got the mixing bowl in here with the butter. What are the next steps? And we're going to finish the whole thing off in the next hour. But once the chocolate is tempered, then what? Then what happens? Then what we're going to do, and we'll do that right now, is we're going to go ahead and put I've got 80 grams of butter in here. 80 grams of butter, okay. And I'm going to add in this nice tempered chocolate, roughly, let's see where we are. We're going to do roughly about 120 to 150 grams of chocolate. And we're a little high, we're on 80, but that works. Okay. And the idea here is we're just going to mix this together. Now the reason why we're doing this is chocolate doesn't play well with most liquids. Really? Okay. And so if you want to add flavorings in, you really need the protection that the butter or heavy cream also works. Okay. That this will afford the chocolate. So now we're going to be able to add in whatever flavors we want. So the butter kind of acts as the glue for the flavoring. Exactly. Is that right? Okay. And this is called a ganache. And the reason why it's called a ganache, it was actually created sometime between 1828 and 1854. Okay. And the apprentice chocolatier actually dumped a bunch of heavy cream into tempered chocolate. Okay. And his master called him a fool or a blockhead, an idiot. which was ganache.
Ganache. What?
And that is where the word comes from.
That is amazing. I never knew that.
Because it's now turned out to be the best way of protecting chocolate and getting those kind of flavors that you want inside a truffle.
Wow. So what are some of the different flavors that you can do? Now, you got a couple of things here that we're going to use to flavor. Is that right?
Mm-hmm, that's correct.
So can you just pretty much, I mean, is the imagination your limit?
And pretty much.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun to try to come up with something, a combination, and ideally get it so that you have a beginning, a middle, and an end to your truffle. So you have an initial hit of some flavor, then it changes again.
Right.
And that's always the fun part of trying to figure out how to do that.
And is that kind of what you and your wife do? Now, you and your wife run La Joliesse.
Mm-hmm.
I'm imagining you do a lot of experimentations. As you see here, guys, I mean, they're really works of art that you've come up with. So there's been a lot of trial and error for you guys to come up with the masterpieces that you do?
Most definitely, which is one of the reasons why I've gained a few pounds since we started this project.
Well, that's what they say, don't trust the skinny chef. Don't
Exactly.
trust the skinny chef.